Okay, let's dive in then. We've got some material here that really puts a potential new health threat squarely in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So our source for this deep dive, it's a report, and it directly references the British Daily Mail.
Okay.
And what really caught our eye is, well, its focus on the discovery of what's being called a new dangerous coronavirus found over in China.
Right. Okay. A dangerous one.
Yeah. Now, here's the specific bit, the real attention grabber highlighted from that Daily Mail report. It's a suggestion that this newly discovered virus, it could potentially trigger the next pandemic.
Wow. Okay. That's a big statement right out of the gate, attributed to the
So
mail.
that's what the source says, yeah.
Yeah.
Attributed to the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
So our mission right now is to really unpack just what this specific source is telling us about this.
Hmm.
What are the key pieces of information it actually lays out?
Well, what's immediately striking, I think, is how the source presents it. It doesn't just state a dry scientific finding. It frames it through the lens of media reporting, specifically the Daily Mail's take on it. So you have the core event being reported, identifying a new coronavirus. And as you said, the source uses that word dangerous to describe it. That's pretty significant, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not just any virus finding, it's one carrying this specific loaded label.
That label dangerous is definitely key, even if, the source doesn't give us the technical specifics of why it's supposedly dangerous.
Hmm.
The fact that this term is applied right away, it signals a certain level of concern. It positions this discovery as, well, something pretty noteworthy, not just routine.
Exactly. And then layered on top of this reported discovery and its initial description, the claim about its potential global impact, the next pandemic scenario.
Right.
But, and this seems important, the source is careful to attribute that specific claim directly to the Daily Mail. It flags where that idea is coming from.
Okay, so what we're looking at is a source that essentially says, look, here's a reported discovery of a virus labeled dangerous, and here's what a prominent newspaper is saying about its potential implications. It's not necessarily saying the pandemic claim is true itself, but it's reporting that the claim is being made, specifically by that outlet.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It really highlights how information about, say, new biological findings can enter the public conversation so quickly and often amplified maybe by media outlets with their own specific angles or emphasis.
Definitely.
That jump from dangerous virus found to potential next pandemic, I mean, that's a significant leap. And our source here shows one specific pathway for how that leap happens in public communication via this particular newspaper report.
Yeah, it makes you think about the different stages, doesn't it?
Okay.
You've got the initial science bit, the finding itself,
Mm-hmm.
then the report of that finding using certain charged language like dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally the media interpreting or maybe extrapolating potential outcomes, sometimes quite dramatically.
And if we sort of connect this to the bigger picture, finding new coronaviruses, well, it isn't entirely uncommon, right, given how many circulate in animal populations?
Yeah.
What makes a finding like this stand out, based only on what our source tells us here, is that dangerous descriptor combined with the location China, which, has unfortunately been a source of novel viruses affecting humans before,
Right.
and the immediate media framing around pandemic potential. It's that combination.
It really underscores how important it is to look closely at how these first reports are framed,
Yeah.
and also who is making the specific claims about future risks. This source gives us the core components: the discovery, the location, that initial assessment, dangerous, and then this high-profile projection from a media outlet.
So yeah, based just on this material we have in front of us, the takeaway is kind of layered. There's a report about finding a new coronavirus in China. It's labeled dangerous, and the British Daily Mail is quoted saying it could trigger the next pandemic. That combination, the finding, the descriptor, and the media claim, that's the core of what our source presents.
And understanding reports like this, the ones that sort of blend scientific findings with media interpretations, well, it's crucial for you, listening, to stay informed without getting maybe swept up in potential hype.
Yeah.
It shows you not just what's being reported, but also highlights where some of the more dramatic claims might be coming from.
Absolutely. It encourages you to think a bit more critically, doesn't it, about the path information takes from discovery right through to public awareness.
So thinking about this source reporting a new dangerous virus in a major newspaper suggesting it could cause the next pandemic, what did that tell you about the challenges? The challenges of staying accurately informed about emerging health threats in, well, today's very fast-paced information landscape. That's maybe the question this deep dive leaves you to ponder.